Finally, I'm a Spanish citizen. This was one of the most important goals I'd had since I arrived in Spain. This was one of my objectives. Today I'm going to tell you everything. How my experience was, why I applied, how I did it, well, everything. Guess what? I got Spanish citizenship. I'm super happy. The other day I was randomly checking my email just like that because of course I check my email all the time. And I got an email that said decision on your Spanish citizenship application. And of course, you click on a link they send you and you can see everything. I applied for Spanish citizenship. Do you remember that I made this video? That I took the Spanish citizenship exam. It's been quite a while, not exactly a year, but still about 10 months, right? And it was taking a long time and my residency was about to expire and I was really worried about that. But finally, I got my citizenship, the Spanish one. That day I said, I'll send it to Tai, my friend, who is also my lawyer. And then she clicks the link and says, finally, you have Spanish citizenship. And I was like, so now what do I have to do, you know? Finally, well, but there are still things to do, right? So what I have to do now is submit documents so they can give me my national ID card, all that. Today is April 13th. They gave me the appointment for today. I went here to the civil registry and I made an appointment myself. Precisely because when you do it online, it usually takes longer or is more complicated. So I went in person, made my appointment. It's for today at 10 in the morning. It's 9 in the morning now. And well, let's get ready because this girl right here is about to become Spanish. By the way, if you're listening to all this talk and you don't know me, I'm Anita Matu. I'm from Cuba. I live in Spain. I've been in Spain for 3 years now. And finally, I'm also going to have a Spanish national ID card and passport. I'm just so happy, I swear, so happy, and I understand what that means. But I'll explain a lot more things to you later. You all ask me all the time to talk more about my work, about how I organize myself as a content creator. Today, I recommend the Opera browser. I've used Opera for a long time and love how it helps organize my work. It's very practical. And if you notice, like whenever I recommend a product or a program here on this channel, it's because I truly feel that it's useful, practical, and it's something I like. I'm pretty messy, and something that happens to me a lot is that I always have a ton of tabs open. Right now, I have them open here. So I like to use a feature that the Opera browser has called DAP Iceland. In fact, I have one for this video I'm making, another one for work stuff, and another one for inspiration. And the best part is that I can expand and collapse them whenever I want, so I don't have the screen full of random stuff, and you can change the name and even the color so you can keep your work more organized. Another feature of the Opera browser that I use a lot is the split screen. For example, when I'm writing a script or preparing content, I'm constantly switching tabs. I can have up to 4 pages open on the screen at the same time. And another feature, which is one of my favorites and the one I use the most, is that Opera has its own artificial intelligence called Opera Eye, right up here on the top right, just one click away. Artificial intelligence is a big help for content creators, honestly. It's great that it's built into this browser. If you want to download Opera, the link is below. Click the link in the pinned comment or description, download the browser, and start using it. It's going to be much easier to do, and it's going to help you a lot. Alright, I'm going to keep organizing this video here because right now I'm already putting it together, editing it, using Opera, and will continue. Well, today's the 13th. Today I have the appointment to submit all the documents. I think it's for what's called the oath, you know? And then on the 20th, I already have the appointment to get my DNI. I don't know if it's for the passport too or if that's done later. But at least the DNI, you know, my identification. Now, obviously, getting these documents involves a change because your identification number and all that changes. You need to change many things in your bank accounts. Because now I have everything under my NIE, though at first I had everything with my passport, and then I switched everything to my NIE, which was pretty easy. That's how the photo turned out. How do I look? And here I have my papers. I'm going to take my passport, the NIE, just in case. The previous one, I don't know if I have to hand it in. Well, I guess not yet. Until I have my documents, I have to carry a form that's like a birth data form that I had to fill out. They give you this right there at the civil registry. When I went to make the appointment, they gave it to me to fill out and bring back completed. I bring my legalized birth certificate from Cuba, my criminal record certificate, and also a photocopy of my NIE. Those are the documents I bring here. Well, I won't take too long talking here. I'll talk to you later because I have to go take care of my paperwork. Well, I've arrived here at the courthouse. I'm not late. I like to arrive earlier than usual. I don't know, I get really anxious because I want everything to go well. I'll wait since the appointment is at 10. Well, that building over there is the civil court in Gallego, and the appointment is right there on the first floor. In small towns, these procedures are usually much faster. It's almost empty, you get an appointment, and they help you quickly. That's been my experience. I even came in person once. Because from 12 to 2 in the afternoon, they assist you without an appointment. I mean, you can come to this court from 12 to 2 in the afternoon and handle any procedure, and they'll help you without an appointment. It's like that's the open hours, without an appointment, when you can come to take care of things. So I came during that time to ask for an appointment, I didn't have one, and I came during those hours that are appointment free. Well, look, I went to ask for an appointment and they gave it to me for today, super fast. Honestly, life in small towns tends to be a little bit more peaceful, more calm. Although I have to tell you that here, for example, in the town where I live, a lot of people are coming. Honestly, here in the north, a lot of new people are arriving. I feel like maybe it's also because people want to find a quieter place, a different place. But well, when a lot of people start coming, it's not such a quiet and different place anymore because then everyone comes. The problem isn't that people come, the problem is that, people need to behave, act properly, do things right, so that this place can continue to be magical and peaceful like it has been until now. As I said, life in small towns is simpler and things often resolve faster. But it also has its difficulties compared to a city. In a city, for example, you might find more job opportunities and all that. Everything has its pros and cons, but anyway, now I'm going to wait until it's 10 to 9. I'm super excited. I hope everything goes well. I'm kind of nervous because I know I have all my documents in order and everything is fine. But still, I'm afraid they'll tell me I'm missing a document or I'm missing this or that. I don't know. I'm really scared that something might go wrong. Well, I'm done with the paperwork. It was super quick. Everything was really fast. The signature, which is like the citizenship oath, is just signing a paper. And that's it. I'll show you what it's like later. They gave me a photocopy and well, I thought what could be better. Now we have to celebrate. This is something to celebrate. Because I'm super happy and I came to my place to have breakfast, my favorite place, which is here in Coruña, to eat. The ocabo tortilla, which is a potato omelette, is like very runny, but it's like the best potato omelette in the world. I swear to you, today we're finally going to get my passport. Today is Monday, April 20th, and today is my appointment to get my DNI and passport. And something that surprises me is that they give it to you the same day. According to what they told me, you get it the same day. So I have my appointment in a little while. I'm going to have breakfast nearby, close to the police station, and then I'll go to the police station. My appointment, I'm super excited. Honestly, I got the appointment really fast. Well, my lawyer got it for me, my personal lawyer. Here are the papers I have to bring. I have to bring my NIE. I'm going to bring my passport just in case, the photo I took, the document, I have to bring my birth registration. The other day was the oath, so when you go to sign the oath, 2 days later you get the letter, well, the birth certificate. It tells you that you obtain nationality by residence, which is this paper, and the current municipal registration certificate. I mean that it's updated, that it's less than 3 months old. Many people have asked me how I got this paperwork done. Contact a lawyer to help you, because we as migrants often don't know. We know the procedures, which documents to bring, and how to present them. Although I already explained to you in the video I made, this was the day I went to take the test for. Because to apply for citizenship, you have to take a test when you apply through residency. It's this test from Instituto Cervantes, and you have to submit that test along with a criminal record certificate, birth certificate, and a series of other documents. But maybe we don't have much knowledge about these kinds of things. Always contact a lawyer, in my case, Abogados Quintero, who are in Seville, whom I already recommended to you in another video. And also my friend, my best friend, well, she knows how to make appointments and that kind of thing. And she does it for me. She also helps me with this, and she tells me more or less what I should be doing. So, well, that's it. You should always look for a lawyer. That's the way to move forward in this country. Sometimes as migrants from outside, we just don't know. So that's it. I'll put away my papers and get ready, since I haven't even brushed my teeth and look a bit silly. It's just that I didn't sleep at all. I slept really badly. I don't know if it was because of the nerves about today. Even though I know everything will turn out fine because I already have the appointment and all my papers are in order. You always have a bit of fear, that feeling. I shared on Instagram that I got my citizenship and so many of you congratulated me. Thank you for that. And well, come with me, join me, and I'll show you. When I have my red passport, which is what you've been waiting for, I'll show it to you now, because in just a little while, I might already have it. I became a Spanish citizen, which helps explain my immigration situation since I'm from Cuba, like many from Cuba and other Hispanic American countries. We can apply after 2 years of having arrived here in Spain and having legally resided for those 2 years. That's the law in this country. And well, come with me. We're arriving at the police station. I'm at the police station and there's no connection. They can't process my paperwork yet because there's no connection. It seems to be something with the civil registry office, I guess. So they told me to wait here for a while, so I don't know if I'll get my documents today. I hope so. Okay, they're ready. I already have my Spanish passport. Finally, look, I was so scared because I got to the appointment on time, even early. I arrived an hour before the appointment because my friend told me to go earlier, just in case. If no one's there, they'll help you. But when I arrive, they say they'll help, then ask me for things. All the documents, the papers you have to present are these. In fact, I'm going to leave them here so you know how. You can make the appointment online through the Government of Spain website for the police office. You can go online, search make an appointment for DNI and Passport, and book it yourself. Your lawyer doesn't need to handle this. So what do they require from you? For the passport, they ask you for this, it costs 30 euros, and for the DNI, they ask you for this, it costs 12 euros. You can pay either in cash or by card. So I go there, everything's ready, I sit down, I hand in all my papers, and what do they tell me? The system went down, the system was down for a little while. This is something that usually happens here, and I was like, what is this? Are we back in Cuba? What's going on here? They tell me, we'll stay, sit there. So I sit down, I wait, I don't know, like 40 minutes, and then a police officer comes and tells me, look, this is something that usually happens. Can we reschedule your appointment for another day? And I was like, no, it can't be. I was counting on getting all this done today, on having my passport and my DNI. This can't be happening to me, but I know it's not just me. It happens here, right? In public institutions, sometimes the system is down. That's what they told me. So, when the man finally schedules an appointment for me on Wednesday, get this, today is Monday, not Tuesday, but Wednesday there was an appointment at 9 in the morning, and I say, okay, while they're scheduling the appointment for me, what do they tell me? Wait, the system just came back. I was relieved since I was counting on finishing my paperwork quickly today. They took my fingerprints, asked for a photo, my signature, all the documents, and they do it right there. I was amazed because they give it to you immediately. It took less than 10 minutes to get my passport and the DNI. Now remove the NIE from the system since it's DNI. Come here and let me explain. I have so many more advantages now as a Spanish citizen that I didn't have with my residence card. As a Spanish citizen, now I'm going to have a lot more advantages in this country. Here's my DNI. I'll cover the number so you can't see it. How do I look? It's nice because it says Kingdom of Spain. They changed my number, so now I have to update it. So my documents, my bank, my social security, my self-employment registration, my things, everything updated to my DNI. I hope it's not a very complicated process, but when you leave there, they give you a little white card with a code. With that code, you can do all the paperwork online for everything. The change of your identification, now my bank accounts were under my previous number, my previous ID, now I have to change it to this one. But well, that's a process I'll do later, well, maybe tomorrow or even today possibly, so that everything is in order. By the way, the Spanish passport, I just want to sleep with it, I don't want to let it go, I feel so happy. You can't imagine, look, if you're Spanish, you might say, I was born with this doesn't surprise me because I was born with it, I've had it since I was born. For someone from Cuba with so many restrictions on everything, leaving Cuba, traveling the world, it's very difficult. I'm talking about traveling. Having a Cuban passport is tough since we can't even leave the country. With that passport, we can go to very few countries, we have very little freedom to travel, and the Spanish passport is one of the best. So the topic of traveling is important because it gives you the freedom to do things. Beyond wanting content, I want to travel and visit my mom in Brazil since it's now much easier for me. With this passport, you can travel much more easily and you can apply. There are countries that require a visa, but the process is much easier and faster than with the Cuban passport, which limits us a lot. It limits us too much. So, has this passport made me a little book? For me, and maybe for you, it doesn't mean the same. You don't give it the value that I do. For me, it means a lot. It means so much, and I'm very happy. And I know that people from outside who manage to get this document and who want to integrate and be someone and be another citizen of this country, to contribute to society, to work, we want to enjoy these benefits too. After all, Cuba was once Spain, and if I didn't qualify, I could get it through residency using the Ley de Memoria or Memoria Democrática. I was going to become Spanish since my grandmother was Spanish. Now, I'll share the benefits I have as a Spanish citizen, which you can also enjoy if you become Spanish. Now that we didn't have before, first of all, let me explain that I obtained citizenship through residency after living legally in Spain for 2 years. People who come from Hispanic countries, whether it's Cuba, Venezuela, countries that were once part of Spain, after 2 years of living legally, can we apply for this? I, of course, did it with the help of someone who knew about these things, and they told me what I had to do step by step, and that's how I did it. First the exam, then submitting the documents, waiting, I receive this, I take the oath, that's the order, right? I take the oath, submit documents, and use the papers from the ceremony, which serve as a birth certificate since they register me. Here in Spain, with that paper and the registration, I go to the police station. I don't know if you understand me, it's confusing, all of this, it's confusing, but step by step, you start to understand everything you have to do with the Spanish passport versus the Cuban passport. Before I tell you, I want to clarify something because someone wrote to me. If you say you have a DNI instead of an NIE, they'll treat you better. I don't think it's entirely like that. In Spain, I've always been treated very well. For example, when they deliver a package or something to me, they always said DNI and I would say no, NIE. But they don't look down on you, they don't say anything, it doesn't matter. Here, no one is paying attention, or at least I think they're not paying attention to those things. I never felt discriminated against, never in my life. So, having an NIE doesn't make you less, does it? It is true that having identification as a Spanish citizen gives you many more advantages. For example, the number one advantage is that with the DNI, a lot of procedures are resolved much faster and are much easier. There are many administrative procedures that you can do online, like for example, getting your passport and receiving it the same day. That's an advantage that Spanish citizens have and not foreigners. That already shows a much more direct system for people who have citizenship, and that's the truth. It's a process that saves you a lot of bureaucracy. It's immediate, that's the second advantage. And one that is super important to me is that you stop worrying about your immigration status. You no longer have to constantly renew your residency, redo paperwork, or request documents from Cuba, which takes a long time. Whether it's your criminal record certificate, your birth certificate, or whatever else. Because every time you have to submit documents to renew your residency, I think they ask for those kinds of papers, so it's a headache. Now that's over because I'm already a citizen of Spain. I don't have to submit any more residency renewal paperwork. Neither you nor I, if you're in this process, that is, if you've already become a Spanish citizen, since many people have done it like I did. It's always been this way. With the Spanish DNI, that part disappears, and honestly, for me, it's a relief, because it's one less thing to worry about. The third advantage is stability. I have this fan facing this way because I sleep with the sound of the fan. I don't point it directly at myself, but I need to hear the noise. Traumas from Cuba and the blackouts. The truth is that the passport and the DNI aren't just a piece of paper or a little booklet or however you want to see it. It's the peace of mind of knowing that your status in Spain is 100% legal that gives you a lot of stability and also a great sense of calm. Honestly, that brings peace both emotionally and legally, no matter what. Well, the third advantage is similar to the second advantage, and the fourth advantage is the opportunity you have to get jobs in the public sector. Here, it's like what they call civil servants in Spain. Although some citizens of the European Union can access this type of job, there are many positions that are reserved for Spaniards, especially those that involve public authority or the protection of the interests of the state. These types of jobs are like, in the police, in the tax office. Maybe it's something that interests you if you would like to work in that. Because from what I understand, that being a civil servant means you have a secure job for life because they don't fire you or something like that. That's what they've explained to me. I don't know, tell me, the people who are from here know more than I do. Can you explain it to me down below? But I think it's a job where you have much more stability and security, and it's an opportunity. If you have a Spanish DNI, it opens a lot more doors for you than if you have a NIE. Like with the DNI, things are easier for you in case you want to apply. The fifth advantage is that you have political rights in Spain. With the NIE, I couldn't have political rights because I couldn't vote. Even if you're Spanish but live abroad, you can also vote from abroad. The sixth advantage is that by being a citizen, española también eres ciudadana of the European Union, which is very important. And this means freedom to travel and live outside of Spain in any country of the European Union that is under European rules. And this is a huge advantage because you're not just talking about Spain, you're talking about a much broader area and you have many more opportunities. Maybe because it's not limited just to here, but to all of Europe, there are many countries that offer you many opportunities depending on your interests and what you want. The sixth advantage is you can travel to nearby EU countries with just your national ID card. You no longer need to carry your passport or anything else. Your national ID card lets you move freely in the authorized area. And there are countries, for example, that have already left, I think, the Schengen area or the European Union, like the United Kingdom, as far as I know. Norway, for example, Andorra, they don't belong either, and Spanish citizens had to ask for a permit or something like that. But for those of us who were foreigners, we had to pay for a visa. For example, I was looking into going to the United Kingdom, and I had to pay about 160 euros, and getting a visa was super complicated. But now, as a Spanish citizen, you also have to get a permit because that country left the European Union agreement. But for Spanish citizens, it's much easier. I'm going to tell you a story. For example, once I went to Malaga with some friends and we wanted to enter Gibraltar out of curiosity to see what Gibraltar was like. They let us through. I wasn't a European citizen, I wasn't Spanish. My friends who were Spanish and the others from the United States were allowed to go through, but I wasn't. We couldn't enter because of me, because I was a foreigner. But now with my national ID card too, with my Spanish passport, I can get into Gibraltar. And the eighth advantage is, as I already mentioned, right now it's how much stronger the Spanish passport is than the Cuban passport. The Spanish passport is one of the top ones in the world, giving you free access to many more countries. For example, according to Passport Index, in 2026, the Spanish passport is ranked third, with access to more than 174 destinations. Meanwhile, the Cuban passport is ranked 67th with access to more than 72 countries. These are countries that have visa-free entry, but these countries that give Cubans visa-free entry only allow you to stay for 15 days. And then these are countries where you can't even settle to live legally. It's super complicated. Many Cubans use these countries to go to a third country that does give Cubans the opportunity to settle. In simple words, with a Spanish passport, you can travel to many more places with fewer visas than with a Cuban passport. There are fewer barriers and less paperwork. So if I had to sum it up, it's that I know that having the Spanish ID and passport hasn't made me a more valuable person than I was before. It's simply making things easier for me in Europe and in Spain. In this country where I live and where I plan to stay for a much longer time, maybe even build my life here in the long term. That's ultimately good because I'm gradually integrating and feeling more like part of this country every day, and I'm very grateful for it. Spain may have thousands of flaws for Spaniards. Sometimes I also see things that make me say, well, this could work better, but it's nothing compared to Cuba. The situation in Cuba is terrible, and it's a country that just doesn't work. España es un país que improve, and for me, honestly, it's a country that has made me very happy, that has given me wings, that has given me freedom, that has given me job opportunities, that has given me what my country didn't give me, and that's why I am extremely grateful. I feel I've earned this passport, it was time to get it, and I'm very happy, and I'm going to make the most of it. So, what plans do I have? What would be my first plan now that I have my Spanish passport? Oh, it's so beautiful. I never get tired of looking at it. Look how beautiful it is. Look how pretty, how red. Now that I have the Spanish passport, of course, it's to be able to go to Brazil. You know that my mom and my siblings moved to Brazil. And I understand that now with a Spanish passport, you can arrange a visit. But it's super fast. Sometimes things are done online. You don't even have to go to the embassy and hand in a bunch of papers like we Cubans do. So I have plans to do a lot more things, mainly to travel a little more to places that were restricted to me before. Friends, the truth is that here in Spain, I'm already in a pretty stable situation. All I was missing was completing this step, finally getting my Spanish documents. Well, I also still need to get my driver's license, but could I do that with a NIE? You can even do that with a red asylum card as long as you have a work permit. It's not something I needed, I just haven't done it because I've been lazy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm disappointed in myself for not doing it even though I'm studying, but my plan for now is that to see where I can travel. Who knows? I don't know. To keep contributing here, to continue being a good example and a good person who appreciates the country that welcomed her. And I appreciate all of you who support me, who are there watching me day after day and supporting me. And to those who are happy for me, I send you a big kiss. Many people tell me they followed me since I arrived from Cuba and have seen all I've gone through. Those of you who have watched me from the beginning have seen me go step by step, Throughout the years I've been here creating content, everything I've achieved, I've earned all by myself without anyone's help. With help from my best friend Taimi, who handles my paperwork and formalities. She's really smart with these things. But I've earned it with a lot of effort, with a lot of patience. Doing things correctly, at the right time when it's my turn, and also taking advantage of the opportunities that come my way. Y tratando de hacer de mi vida. Well, I do the best I can so I can be stable, so I can be calm, so I can be happy. I know many of you are happy because you saw me come from Cuba with nothing, arriving in Spain, trying to legalize my situation, then being a resident for over 2 years, And now, becoming a citizen, which was the final step in my paperwork in Spain, buying this apartment, buying the house. In fact, I was denied many mortgages. Well, not many, but the banking system, I think they denied me the mortgage. Did they want me to be a citizen, or did they tell me to come back when I was a Spanish citizen? And I went to another bank that did accept me as a foreigner. But like I said, even for that, for applying for loans and mortgages, being a citizen gives you more advantages and they value you more. I mean, it makes sense because you need to have papers from this country for them to notice you. That you are going to be someone who pays, who does things right, or at least that's how they see it. They haven't seen me give anything. I feel like you, many of you. I've shared my progress little by little. And I hope that all the little videos I've always made about my progress have been helpful. For you and for the people who have watched me little by little and seen me grow, I hope you're happy for me. I know that many of you write to me and tell me you congratulate me and are super nice and write to me. Well, I am very grateful to you, the people who follow me. Amazing. Thank you so much to everyone who supports me, to everyone who has congratulated me on this process. I love you all so much. And well, I hope to achieve many more things and that you all are happy for me and I am happy too. And with many of you whom I talk to every day, I know you are happy for me. I'm also glad for your achievements, which we discuss and share together. Especially over there on Instagram, go follow me if you want because I interact a lot with my followers there. I love you all so much. Anita Mateo, now a dual citizen since I have both nationalities. I must use my Cuban passport to go to Cuba, but I can travel to Australia with just my Spanish one. But to go to Cuba, they always require the Cuban one. Country rules, So I have to have both passports. Sending you a kiss, subscribe, it's totally free. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you all. Bye.